5:30, calling the meeting to order. And the first order of business, I'm gonna take roll. I am here. Here. Mr. Soulier is not here today. Mr. Billiou is also not here. He called me a moment ago and he apparently had a minor farming accident today and his back is bothering him, so he won't be here. Mr. Byers? Here. Ms. Dennis?
Here.
Mr. Falls? Yeah. Ms. Stinson?
Yeah.
Ms. Strong?
Here.
Ms. Cobars?
Here.
And quickly go around the room, if you would introduce yourselves.
Dominic Bartos, Chief Portland PD.
Vicky Cervantes, City Librarian.
Case Reinhardt, Deputy Manager. Donnie Moore, Park County Services. Jake Stowe, Chief of Police.
Patrice Hildred, City Manager.
Fernando Gabriel, Acting Chief Deputy City Clerk.
Eva Rodriguez, Admin for the Fire Department.
Shannon Stiles, Acting Fire Chief.
Lee Rodriguez, Finance Director.
Michael Knight, Public Works.
Welcome everyone. If we would all stand, please, and take a flag. Dave, would you lead us in the pledge?
Ready, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oral communications, this is the opportunity for any member of the public to address the committee. There being none. Scheduled matters. Once again, measure H and measure I would like to combine them just for the continuity of the reports by the individual involved in the reports. And what I usually do when I get all the information from Fernando, I go through everything page by page and take notes. This was last meeting. This is this meeting, so we should get out of here pretty quickly. You give me problems. I know these guys are blue, so be careful.
Jerry. I have an announcement to make. Tonight will be my last night. I've been here for 12 years, so I think that's long enough and I'm ready to move on. So I've enjoyed my time on this committee and I've learned a lot of things and met a lot of good people from the city and other people. I'm gonna miss it, but I think it's just fine.
Personally, I'm sorry to see you leave, but in recognition of your 12 years of service.
You can't railroad being on your.
Yeah, he's kind of like a bad penny, right?
Yeah, I've always come back.
To begin with, has everyone read the minutes from last meeting? But you got a copy of, did you just get a copy here? Did you get a copy on the email?
Yesterday.
Okay, would you like a moment to read them?
I don't know if that's what happened, so I don't want to go from it.
The purpose for reading the minutes not only is to make sure that they're correct, is also, if you weren't here, that's why we take minutes, so that you can be informed on what took place during the meeting.
I hope they're correct.
those who are reviewing the minutes, if you would let me know, acknowledge when you are through reviewing. Everybody done? Yes. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
Make a motion that we accept the minutes as presented without correction.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Ms. Stinson is abstaining from voting.
I wasn't there.
It's okay.
I was at Disneyland.
Oh, my goodness. And you didn't bring us back a little Mickey Mouse hat or anything?
Oh.
Okay, let's get right into it. Chief Casella. Would
Yeah.
you,
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. The Chairman Hall and I went over, the Measure H and I expenditures for this quarter. We also discussed some ongoing projects, in regards to the police department and these, continued projects that will enhance the, effectiveness and efficiency of the police department and us providing a service to the community. Also let the community know 2023 year-end report with all our statistics will be available on the police department's website within the next week or two. The city manager and deputy city manager are reviewing that report now, but it is complete. So hopefully that'll be up for all the community to see what occurred in regards to the police department in 2023. Like to share a few projects that are nearing completion that will benefit the city. And all public safety efforts. One of the big ones I think that we all know is the animal services building. Obviously there's different areas of budgeting and financing for that project. It's been long coming, but Measure I did participate in some of the funding in that, so we'll discuss that. It's nearing completion. State-of-the-art facility. I've been through it in the last couple of weeks. We did the walkthrough and just the upgraded technology and construction is second to none. Staff and I looked at different areas in there and were present during one of my concerns, and probably the communities, was the sound of animals within the city limits, especially right in the downtown area. I was there during the sound testing of this project. Looked at the construction as it, actually Assistant Chief and I were both there. And as it went through that stage of construction, again, second to none in that area, and is completely, I guess it's never going to be completely soundproof, but it is. I was there during the testing of that, and it's outstanding work by the contractors. Just to cover some of our staffing levels, again, we continue to grow in our staffing levels. It includes the recent graduation of 5 new police officers within the last few weeks from the Tulare Kings Police Academy. We have several lateral employees in the hiring process. 2 interviews set this week, actually. We hired another animal control officer who's in the training phase, and we have another one in the process of being hired. We hired 2 more emergency dispatchers, which the first time since I've been at this agency for several decades that we're completely full at this time in the communication center, dispatching for both police and fire. I know we do have one retirement. She's been with us for 30 years. That's coming up, so we'll be down another one. But right now we're at full staffing. So that's the report. If you have any questions about the expenditures, I didn't see anything that was outside the area of the expenditures for the police departments. There were some notations I made again, on the entries, how they're entered into our encode system, that I didn't know what they were, even though the expenditure was correct, and I found out what those were. So I'll be happy to answer the committee, any of the committee's questions that they may have.
Does that cover both H and I?
Yes, sir.
Off subject just a little bit, something that I think is a concern to everybody in town. Do we have any light at the end of the tunnel on traffic enforcement in the city?
Yeah, we've increased in our traffic unit, and as we have a lot of individuals that are on training, but as those personnel get off training, we'll be able to add in the area of traffic enforcement. We've down 1 or 2 people in our traffic unit. But as those issues arise, as we get those calls or those concerns in certain areas, our supervision and the traffic unit and community service officers are able to address those as those concerns come in too.
Also, the chief and I, in our discussion, I had a couple of incidents in my neighborhood with homeless in the last couple of weeks, and when I called, I got a good response from the police department and the officers who responded to both of these situations. I already told the chief, I would like to commend them on the way they handled the homeless situation, the way they handled these individuals. It was with a great deal of tact, concern, and care. And one of the individuals actually was a low degree of resistance, and the officer just did a superb job controlling the individual and making sure that there was nothing unnecessary that was done to get this individual's cooperation. And they were both taken, it's my understanding, into custody in such a manner that they're going to receive some help. They're not just going to be locked up or hauled out to the city limits and dropped off. They're going to be allowed some access to human resources that may help them if they so choose to accept that help. And I want to thank the police department for that. I know homelessness is a concern for all of us, but your police department is on our side, but they are doing the very best that they can with what they have to deal with.
And if I may, Chairman Hall, the city council will be considering at the next meeting on March 5th. We will be addressing that topic exactly. We held a study session in January and received direction from the city council in terms of coming forward with a no camping ordinance. So staff is diligently working on that as we speak, and that will be coming at the next meeting. So there will be more additional discussion and attention to that issue.
Good. Could you do me a favor? Could you stand up for a moment? Ladies and gentlemen, this is our new city manager.
Oh, hello. Hi.
Thank you. Yeah, congratulations, I think.
Yeah.
Could be condolences. Chief Skiles.
All right, hello, Chairman and Board. Thanks everybody for coming. I talked with Sean today. We went over the report. We didn't really find any anomalies in regards to measure H or I. A lot of the spending in there that was reflected went towards overtime due to some vacancies, holidays, and administrative leave and workers' comp type issues. During the last quarter, some of the money was spent to replace some out-of-date helmets and purchase new equipment for some of our new hires and replace some of our expiring equipment. And also with that, we were sending, per the SART recommendation, some of our officers and our chief officers to our command and control classes with some industry experts. So we got a lot of that taken care of. And then currently, we're completing our strategic plan with Mike Krause and Associates. He's one that did our community risk reduction and standards of coverage. This should be completed at the end of March. I believe we're going to have our last stakeholders meetings, and we should have our strategic plan completed. this will help us, this was one of the recommendations from SART, and also help us with our ISO insurance service officer classification. We're currently working on our classification now. It's under review, and we'll turn that in tomorrow, Chris. Yeah, so we should be turning all our information in tomorrow. We can get our review classification. And then, other than that, we're still working on, we should be finishing up our training classroom remodel. That's going to be finished in mid-March, which will help house our personnel whenever we start the remodel on Station 72, so we can increase our staffing at that station. We still have the plans on doing the remodel at 71, but that's contingent, which is a station that's right here next to us. That's contingent upon the location of our administrative services building and EOC. We originally were going to put it at the library site, but then there's some other buildings that possibly have came open, which might cost some money savings for us, and then make our 71 remodel a little more usable, so we can have drive-through engine bays versus having to back in every time. So that might help us with that. In regards to personnel, we just now closed applications for our fire inspector position, and we'll start some interviews here pretty soon. And we're also getting ready to start interviews for a minimum of 3 new firefighters. Again, thank you, and if you have any questions.
If you used a couple of acronyms, I believe SAR,
SART,
START,
Serious
and,
Accident Review Team.
okay, and ISO.
ISO Insurance Office.
Not everyone is a government employee and familiar with 3 and 4 letter acronyms, so
True.
just for clarification, so everyone in the committee would know what you were talking about. Thank you, sir.
No, thank you.
Any other questions from the chief? Mr. Knight?
Just to acknowledge, please get me to say before I start.
No, go ahead. It's fine.
Mr. Soulier wasn't going to be here tonight, but in communications, acknowledged that he didn't have any outstanding questions in regards to the agenda. Scheduled a meeting with Ms. Dennis to review the agenda, any questions she may have. Just acknowledging the AC paving repair section of the self-performed maintenance looks a little low compared to previous year. Just acknowledging the wet season that we endured during that quarter. Work is expected to pick up moving into the better portion of the season, which we have a number of projects, and a priority project will be rolling out staff efforts on Morton Avenue from Highway 65 to Kessing Street. So that'll begin here shortly. The delay in that was coordinating structure raising with Southern California Edison. So that's been the delay in that. Mr. Sanchez had a prior commitment tonight, and in discussion with him, I advised that I would cover the status of the projects that were pending. In the list of the projects identified in the interim performance report, there's the Grand Avenue project between 4th and Hanrahan. That project is at 85% completion of plans and specs, and is anticipated to go out to bid this summer. And then acknowledging Montgomery Avenue reconstruction, J to H, that covers some medium work on Olive Avenue, and of course J and Date area, and that is also planning to go out this summer. The pavement management program is still ongoing. We're in efforts of re-upping our pavement condition index and review information. The Union Avenue project listed in the scope of projects is at 90% in review of that project. We identified a cul-de-sac on Cottage that needed to be incorporated in this project, and so we're making efforts to bring that in and increase those utility services throughout that project. And then the most exciting project is the Villa Street reconstruction, which is from Henderson to Olive, and it is started. They've been doing a lot of work in the intersection of Grand and Villa the last couple of weeks, putting in a 54-inch storm drain line. That is backfilled, and we've crossed the water main there. Moving on, so you'll see plates throughout Villa, from Henderson to Olive, and those are potholes that they've done to expose utilities to try to get in advance of those plans and making sure there's no unforeseen circumstances that we're going to encounter through the project. But it's going to be a good project once it's done. It's going to improve and provide improve utility and provide recycled water lines in the area, address water services, storm drain capacity, and a number of other issues, and hopefully end up with a nice smooth road from Henderson Bay. Happy to answer any questions.
What are they doing on Olive out there just west of Newcomb? They're in the middle of the intersection. That the next intersection going west on Olive, there's been some construction going on there.
There's been some previously there was some water main extensions that occurred in there. I haven't seen anybody as of recent.
So, 'cause there was somebody out there today, they had the middle lanes blocked. And they had plastic over the hole in the ground because they've had steel plates there too.
I'm not aware of what's going on there. I'll look into that and provide you an update.
Did you see what types of vehicles could have been?
No, I
A
didn't.
utility company doing some?
No, I couldn't tell.
Nothing city related that I'm aware of. I know the county has been out doing survey in the area in anticipation for the bridge widening there at the Tule River. There's been a number of utility groups working in the area, but nothing specifically city related that I'm aware of.
I don't know what street that is, but that street dead ends into Olive. And it's just the first street past Newcomb on Olive going west.
Salisbury.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So previously that was Southern California Gas. So Southern California Gas was working out there. There's a 10-inch high pressure gas main in that area.
Oh.
And so through the East Porterville project, DWR was in the area installing a new booster pump station and water mains in that area. And the gas company wanted to verify that their main was secure and untouched. So they actually came out, excavated where we crossed the main, inspected the main, resurface coated the main, and then backfilled. So that was a subcontractor for Southern California.
Okay, thank you.
And question, you mentioned the project between Grand and Hinterhand.
Yeah.
I believe those are intersecting streets.
Sorry, Hinterhand and Plano. Yeah,
Okay,
I'm sorry, 4th and Hinterhand is the way it's described. I apologize.
just checking. Thank you, Mr. Knight. Mr. Moore, Parks and Leisures.
Yeah, Ms. Committee Member Stinson met with Mr. Vontis, and I will let Mr. Vontis provide any updates on that.
I met with Margaret yesterday, and literacy expenditures are tracking very well this quarter. And that's all I have to report. Margaret might have some more to say.
Parks and Leisures and Library are being combined tonight.
The library's under the Parks and Leisure Department.
Right.
So,
Yeah, but
so
oftentimes Mr. Moore has a separate report other than library. Nothing going on.
Usually.
You got the swimming pool shut down,
Measure-
right?
Yeah, Measure H related, it's just all library services that I receive.
Okay.
we go to handicapped spaces.
Very good.
I wanted to make a comment on Parks and Leisure. This summer, I was up at the parks and at the pool, and my great grandson was taking swim lessons, and it was very hot that day, and I started having a heat stroke. And those lifeguards are there like that, cooling me down with ice packs and stuff, so I commend you on that. They seem very well trained, and they were really nice. Yeah, that was great. They stayed with me until the ambulance came and everything.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Everything that I had made notes on, we've covered, without having to bring it up. Does anyone have anything else that they would like to address to the committee right now?
I was wondering, what was gonna be done with that section of Putnam by the hospital. There's a couple of, sinkholes, and there's one section of the sidewalk that's, completely impassable by, mobility scooters. I have to go up around and drive across the grass in order to get get on that sidewalk by 460 Putnam.
I'll take a look at it and I'll get with, Mr. Sanchez and we'll see if there's something scheduled in the area. I've seen that offset section. There's no ramp at that one driveway approach, off of Putnam, so I'll get some details on it and provide.
And there's one section down by the Porterville pharmacy. There's a hole right in the gutter. It's about 6 inches deep.
Take a look at it.
The truck had, looked like a truck had stopped there and the pavement just stunk.
Well, thanks for letting me know. I'll take a look at that and see if there's something we need to address there and follow up with, any potential future projects for Mr. Sanchez.
Okay? Thank you.
Good man. Ms. Hills, do you have anything else that you would like to address with the committee?
I do not, just thank you so much for your time.
Okay, next meeting, how does May 28th sound?
Great.
Shut up.
Elena, I actually do have something. Thank you. So we do have 5 members that have expiring terms. So in addition to, Mr. Simonich's seat, we have, Mr. Falls, Ms. Stinson, Ms. Kovars, Ms. Dennis, and Mr. Soulier, who have terms expiring in May of this year. So what we would like is to reach out to staff, reach out to Fernando if you are interested in being reappointed. And we will bring forward an item in the second meeting in April to consider appointments. And if you are not interested in being reappointed, please also let us know that, and then we can fly it. We'll already be flying Mr. Simonich's vacancy, so.
Did you get that? Your term is expiring. Do you want to stay on the commission?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Falls with the thumbs up. You ladies are gonna stay, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What would we do without you?
Well, I think I'll be back for May the 28th, but I'm going to Japan and Disneyland.
We're not necessarily in the same place.
There's a Disneyland in Japan.
It's a
Where?
big Disneyland. It's not run by Disney, but they contracted to use all the.
Okay, but you want to stay on the committee?
Yeah.
Ms. Bowers, you also, Dennis?
Yes.
Okay, so all we need to know is if Mr. Soulier wants to stay on. I suspect he will, but
I'll let him know. So we can
Okay.
email.
okay.
It's gonna get so much fun.
Yeah, for so much pay too.
I've been on so many years, I wouldn't know what to do without it.
We wouldn't know what to do without you too. Is May 28th acceptable to everyone except Ms. Stinson?
I'll probably be back, but I don't guarantee it.
Okay, 5:30 here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, there being no further business, the meeting adjourned.
Hey.
Oh, actually, sorry, before we do that, we do need a motion in a second for the review of the
Oh, okay.
items. Sorry about that.
Do I have a motion to approve the review of the Measure H issues?
I'll make a motion.
Have a motion, do I have a second? Motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve the Measure I issues?
Yeah.
Ms. Stinson has made the motion.
I second it.
Mr. Falls has seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Anything else? Okay, motion passes, meeting adjourned.